If you look at a certain area of your life and you say, I normally experience negative things in this area of my life, I only really see this portrayed in a negative light. And then you may look at somebody else, they might say, oh, I have a good experience with that. And then they might tell you something else that they have a bad experience with, and you say, well, I don't have a bad experience with that. I don't see it that way. And these things that we see in a negative light in our own life, they feel really real to us. And it can then be hard to figure out how to get that type of thinking out of your head, or you're not sure if that really is true thinking and if everybody else is just wrong and this is a correct perception because this is what shows up for you and you don't know how to undo this or unsee this. The whole thing just gets pretty confusing. So in this video, I'm going to let you know what goes on when this type of thing comes up, and my goal is to help you view these certain things and patterns that you see repeating negatively in your life in a different way in order to help you to end this pattern. And yes, it's possible to end these patterns of things that we see very often, or at least completely change our perspective into a way that we're not constantly worrying about these specific things. So first, one of the biggest things that I notice is with media, like social media, TV, all of the information that we get from so many angles, a lot of it can be negative stuff, or a lot of it can be untruthful. And specifically the way algorithms work is they work like your brain works. So what your brain will do is it will decide one specific thing. Let's say, for example, because I see this one all the time and I always think about how this is a perfect example of how people can get a negative view of things in this specific way. So with relationships, for example, if you believe all men are this, or all men cheat, all men act this way or do this. So whether this is what you believe, or there's something similar that you say, all this always happens to me, this is negative, like this is the thing that happens a lot in this world and you can't escape it, that type of thinking, you're definitely never going to escape it. So if you think, let's continue to use this example of believing all men cheat. So you can put this in whatever example that it applies to you, but this is what we're going to use for right now. So the way that algorithms work is if you watch these type of videos, first of all, because it's what you believe. So if you believe this, you may be watching these type of videos. If you believed that all men cheat in relationships, that you would never be able to find a good man, so if you believed this, then it would be more common that you would be looking for this type of thing in the algorithm. The algorithm would bring you more videos like this to reinforce the fact that this is the thing. Now, other than just the algorithm, drama sells in media. Drama sells. That's why there's so many drama shows, like reality TV filled with drama. On the news, they're telling the bad news, the bad things that are happening, so it seems like everything's way worse than it actually is, or it's biased. So every negative thing you're seeing, it's being made worse now with how much information we get and how well algorithms work, plus the fact that our brain has its own little algorithm of what it's going to take in. It's going to see, oh, here's an example of this. I'm going to take this in. I'm going to believe this. And then you're going to put yourself in areas where this is a thing. You're going to attract that same type of energy because that's what you're putting out. That's what you're looking for. So even if it's not consciously, that's what's happening. So even if you see positive things, I also see this all the time when I see positive things using a relationship, again, as an example. So say it's content where somebody is in a happy relationship, they're telling you great things that this person does, or they're showing them happy together. And in the comments, so many times I will see, oh, like, this is fake, or they'll be saying negative things in a negative attitude. And so I tend to look for more positive type of videos because I don't like getting caught into that negativity spiral. And it's easy to go down it once you start, especially if that's a belief you used to have. It's easy for that to kind of start back up again until you're fully firm in the fact that this is what I believe. I believe that this can be positive, or this is positive for me, or I don't have this problem anymore that I used to. So in these positive type of videos, it'll be so common that I'll go to the comments and somebody will say, this is fake, this is a lie. I don't know, there's so much negativity in comments of positive videos. So my point is, if your belief is that this is always negative, this thing you think, this pattern you see is something that's always there for you, and that's something you experience and something everybody experiences. So when you look at things that contradict this, you're going to look at it and say, well, that's not right. This must be a lie. Or maybe for them, but not for me. Any alternative that pushes it further away from you to claim the belief that you have on this negative thing. You can even physically not see the positive thing. Like, something positive could be happening right in front of your face, but your brain isn't picking up on it because your brain is basically blocking this belief. So basically, back to the example, if you think all men cheat, start challenging that belief and saying, okay, what if this is only for some people? What if this is only some men, or in a specific group that I happen to be attracting because I was looking for these characteristics? This is where all the inner work comes in, and you start looking at the negative views you have of life, and that is the perfect area to jump right into to do that inner work and to fix that. The things you get offended by and the negative thought patterns that you have are like a gold mine for the area you need to do inner work in. So even if you don't believe it, start challenging that belief, because once you start challenging that belief and saying, what if this positive side to this that I haven't been believing actually could be a fit for me? I could actually experience this. And you just put that negative thought pattern to the side of the other side of things that you used to believe, and you say, even if the negative thought pattern keeps kind of trying to come back in, you could say things like, this isn't a fit for me anymore. I don't accept this in my life anymore. This is not my reality anymore. I do not want to accept this. It is truly powerful what the brain can do and what the brain can pick up on and block out over time. And you have to repeat this because the brain works with repetition, and the more you repeat something, the more it's going to lock in that neural pathway. And then once that neural pathway is made, that's going to be the immediate thing that it jumps to. So instead of immediately jumping to the example of thinking all men cheat, instead of saying, oh my god, well, all men cheat, whatever, instead it would be looking for people that would better match that. It would be paying less attention to that old way of thinking, and if it saw that old way of thinking, it wouldn't immediately jump to that being the truth. It would be like, well, that's just some people, but I don't have to be available for that reality anymore. I know what to look out for. I know what I deserve. I'm no longer on that energy level that's attracting that type of thing into my life. So yeah, and this area could be much different for you, not in relationships. It could be in the career setting. You could look at something and say, well, this could work for other people, but not for me. Or it's hard to make money. Or any negative connotation you have about that. Or about health. Anything. It could be in any area. Any negative thought pattern you have, bring attention to all of them and start thinking the opposite. And it really is that easy. You just have to get through the hard part of switching beliefs. And even if the old reality still exists, it will, but it just doesn't have to be something you're always attracting into your life. Just try it out and you will be amazed at how well it actually works. Always be careful what you're watching on social media, news, what you're talking about with people. Don't go too far into those types of conversations with other people. You can cut them off right there and say, you know what? I don't really want to talk about this anymore. Have boundaries. Know what you want to believe instead, and choose to believe that instead, that's now what you will accept in your reality. And even if those tests come along here and there, trying to say, oh, here's your old reality, are you sure you don't want to get mad and fall back into that? You say, no, I'm all set. I'm only available for this. And you keep it that way. So you stay strong in that belief and take it seriously. So that is it for this video. Please give this video a like, and if you would like to see other self-improvement content, topics on mindset like this or manifestation, all of that type of thing, please subscribe if you'd like to be a part of this community. I'd love to have you here, and If you have any requests for future videos, I'd love to hear that. And if you had any feedback or anything you wanted to add to this video, I'd love to hear it below in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.